Hey, this is Jack. This is going to be a review of the market today on Monday, March 30th, 2026. I'm going to go over the S&P 500 futures contract for the day. And what you're looking at now is my end of day chart markup. So you can pause the video and take a look at that and read what I had to say about it. Take a look at the reasonable trades I've identified, not necessarily trades that I've taken. So coming into the day, this is the RTH daily chart, and this is the extended hours Globex daily chart. And the prior day was a big bear trend bar, and it's breaking out below a bear channel, so it's getting parabolic and climactic. Therefore, I expect today to be a bull bar, or at least have a big gap up and then form a trading range, and probably we'll find buyers down here. I mean, if you just look at the chart, we've been in a trading range for a while, and then we're starting to get this breakout, and the breakout doesn't look very good. There's buyers below this low here, there's buyers below that low there were buyers here, there were buyers below all of these lows, so I expect buyers to be down here at these lows, and these lines are just swing points from earlier major higher lows. So that's what I expect going into the day. This is the Globex chart, 30-minute chart, 15-minute chart. And here's the Globex high, this green line up here, the midpoint of the Globex range, and the Globex low down here. So those lines are also on these charts. Here is the midpoint of the Globex session, midpoint here, the Globex low down here. We finally got to it at the end of the day down here. 10-minute chart, 20-minute chart, 100 seconds chart. I have a lot of charts, but I appreciate those perspectives during the day when I'm watching the market. So here's the 5-minute chart. Let's back it up. So first bar of the day, big bear bar, probably going lower, reasonable to sell, but better to wait. Consecutive big bear bars. Probably we're getting some sort of trend from the open. Probably it's not going to be a big bear trend that lasts all day, but probably we're going to go lower. So it's reasonable to sell, but I expect there to be buyers maybe somewhere down here. Bar 3, good follow through, but tail makes me think we'll pull back, but probably sellers above, so probably going lower. Strong enough bar, probably going lower, but we're getting close to the moving average, so probably buyers not far below. We pulled back and then went lower, so I do expect us to be putting on the brakes and beginning a rally soon. Bar 6, breaking out below the trend line on a smaller time frame. You can see it on the 100 seconds chart or 1-minute chart, but this is a parabolic wedge, and then we've got a climactic breakout of that wedge, and we have a tail on this bar, and we're breaking out below the moving average for the first time. This is also a big breakout. If you think about it from the Globex perspective, this is a pullback to the midpoint of the Globex range. That's what this orange line is. So we have the moving average, we have a parabolic wedge, and we have the midpoint of the Globex range here on bar 6. And we've got a big tail at the bottom of this bar, and you can see that this looks like a relatively uniform completed structure, and then this is a climactic breakout of that structure. And with the tail being here, I'm thinking it might fail. But it's certainly strong enough that we're probably going to get a pullback and a second leg down. I just don't think that we're going to go straight down to here before we pull back, and that pullback could last who knows how long. So probably a bad idea to be selling down here. Probably we're going to begin to rally soon. Bar 7, pretty good bar, probably going a little bit higher, but probably we pull back before we go much higher. Still the same premise, probably still going higher, but probably we need to pull back more. 9, pretty weak, but 4 consecutive higher lows. Probably the first reversal down will be minor, and we'll get a second leg up from this rally, and probably we're going to form a tight trading range. 10, bear bar, big tail, so buyers below. You know, maybe it's the start of trend resumption from this bear trend on the open, but I don't know. To me, we found buyers below 9, and we need a second leg up from this rally, so we might have more buyers at the close and below this bar than sellers. 11, good for the bulls, bad for the bears, but it's weak. We didn't quite get to that high close, and we might have disappointed bulls looking to sell in this area here. And we also probably have bears looking to sell above this swing point here. So I would not be buying. If anything, I would be thinking about selling. Outside down 12, but tight trading range. And now we're forming a triangle, so better to wait for the breakout. We tested the top of the triangle, tried to break out and reverse down. So probably we'll get the downside breakout, but not a very good sell signal. Reasonable for a short, but I'd be quick to get out with a scalp if I were selling here. And I actually did sell here, and I did get out for a scalp. Bear breakout might be failing. Really not a good start to a breakout of a triangle, so probably the breakout is going to fail or not get very far before it pulls back. And then outside down 15. Good bar. Is it sell to close? Maybe, but the problem is we've got a swing low right here, and 15 is a big outside down bar. And for me, when we get a breakout of a triangle, I'm looking for 2 legs down, and then I'm looking for a correction after those 2 legs. And what I see right here is leg 1, pullback 2. So this might be a double bottom if we start to fail, and we did start to fail. So I think I was short here, and I got out really quickly when this started to reverse up. I think you can see on the 100 seconds chart what that looked like and why I was able to get out pretty quickly. All right, so yeah, we were talking about bar 16. Well, here's bar 15. So if I'm short right here, I really don't want to be holding short above this bar because we technically already have 2 legs down. Here's leg 1, pullback 2 from the triangle, and I can draw the triangle just so it's clear. That's the triangle that we're looking at on the 5-minute chart. So we have a breakout here of that triangle. I guess you can just extend it over if you want. Here's the first leg breakout, pullback 2, and now we have leg 2 subdividing 1, pause, 2. So if we start to reverse up, that's a double bottom, and I want to get the hell out of there. So I got out really quick when the next bar started to do this. And now because that bar did that, I remembered that Jerome Powell was speaking around this time, so probably he began speaking here, and that's why the market's reacting with a big climactic bull bar here. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to wait and see how the market responds to whatever the hell he's saying. So better to be flat. If anything, better to be long and looking to buy at the close or down here, and then better to look to sell somewhere up here because we're in a trading range. We have a strong bear trend, a tight trading range, and now we're going sideways to up. So probably we're in a trading range. We're in a rally within a trading range. We're probably going to find sellers up here and buyers down here. Good bull bar. Probably will go a little bit higher, but again, probably sellers somewhere up here. And then 18, good bar, but the problem is it's the climactic bar. This is this bar is 17 points, and I don't know, the average range of the prior bars maybe 10, 11, 12 points. So this is a big climactic bar. Probably we're going to find profit taking before too long. But for the bears, they do have a double bottom, and if I'm a bear and I'm betting on a double bottom, I'm looking for a measured move up to this point here, and we're about halfway there. So if it fails, it won't get here, and it'll fail somewhere after the halfway point. And we've got another good bar, but it's a shaved bar, and we got pretty close to the measured move mark. Now, if I'm a bull, I know that this is a climactic rally. I know that this is a breakout of a trading range. And though it looks good so far, I know that this rally is probably due to some piece of news that may or may not be relevant to the market structure for the day. So I'm not betting on this turning into a big, strong bull trend that lasts all day and gets above bar 1 because it's climactic. And, we have a magnet down here. This is a trading range, a triangle. So probably we're going to have to pull back before we go much higher. And if I'm a bull, I'm probably thinking about taking profit soon because we have had no pullbacks for the last 20 points. I mean, damn, that's pretty good, So what are the odds that we just keep going up? I don't know. So we might not get to that measured move. But I wouldn't sell if I were flat and I were bearish. I would not sell the close of a bar like bar 19 because the risk is that it does go above 1 without pulling back much. Outside down 20, Probably going to go lower, might pull back. A statement by the bears that, you know, the bulls maybe aren't as strong as they could be, and the bears are strong, and they're demonstrating that strength here on bar 20. So reasonable to sell and sell a pullback, but probably this rally needs a second leg up, and we're somewhere near the middle of the rally, so probably we'll find buyers maybe at the high of 17 or somewhere below 20, some distance, maybe around the moving average. Good follow through 21, but smaller bar and a pullback, so it might be an implied two-legged move down, and we might find buyers here around 21. Broke to the downside, but it failed and reversed up. Disappointing for the bears. Not ideal for the bulls. Not a strong buy signal, but it is a buy signal, so maybe there will be buyers here at the close and above the bar. But if I were buying, I would be scalping, and I would be waiting for a stronger signal. That's good, but maybe not good enough. It's a small bar. Why is it so small? And that's probably because there were sellers selling during the formation of this bar, or there weren't many buyers, and it could be a trap. So probably we go a little bit higher, but I don't know how much higher. Do we get back up to the close of 19? Maybe, maybe not. Trying to go outside down, but maybe just a pullback after the long triggered. So I don't know, probably sideways. I'm not too sure. I'd be doing nothing here. And then outside up, 25. Okay, good. But is this the start of a strong bull trend? Probably not. And if it's not the start of a strong bull trend, it's probably going to form either a two-legged move that leads to another leg down for the bears, or it'll pull back and form a third leg, and maybe that third leg will be a wedge double top bear flag, and we'll get trend resumption down. But to me, this is not a buy the close bar. If anything, it's a buy the pullback bar. And I definitely would not sell the close of a bar like 25. It did go higher, but we're pulling back. We didn't quite get to the high close, so probably this is just a pullback. Almost outside up, but, entirely overlapping the prior bar, so not ideal for the bulls. If anything, I'd be looking to take profits up here and thinking about selling. This is 1, 2, 3 pushes up. Now we've got a wedge. We're starting to pull back, but that's not a strong sell signal. So you don't want to sell that, but you don't want to buy it. It's like 3. We're forming a tight trading range. Maybe it's a final flag for the bulls. And then here's the bar that sealed the deal for me. I did sell during this bar. 29, we tested the high close, pulled back and failed. We have a micro wedge, 1, 2, 3, inside of another wedge, 1, 2, 3. So this entire structure is now complete, and we're free to do something else. And it is a reasonable enough sell signal. We're closing below the midpoint, but it's a bull bar, so it's not ideal. But still a reasonable sell signal, so probably we're going to go lower. Good bar on 30. Trader sold the close of 29. Probably going lower. Follow through, but climactic. Probably going lower, but we need to pull back here. A pause bar, probably sellers above. Bull bar, but small and closing below the moving average. Probably sellers around here. But who knows? Maybe we get a double bottom and we start to rally. But after 30, 31, odds are there's going to be sellers in the upper part of that leg. Trader sold the close, probably going lower, but probably buyers not far below these swing points. Pull back, 2 legs down inside of another 2-legged move, so maybe buyers down here, but probably still going lower. All right, bit of a surprise on 36. We broke below 22, a pretty major swing point to me. So probably we find profit taking. Also, we're back at the orange line, which is the midpoint of the Globex session. So probably we start to stall and go sideways here. We also have a low close, 15, a double bottom, and then these major swing lows, 6 and 16. So maybe we go a little bit lower, but probably we find profit taking and we start to rally soon. 37, bad for the bears, but not all that, not all that impressive for the bulls. I'm really not eager to buy after 5 consecutive lower highs. Probably there's sellers up here. Another small bull bar, maybe an implied 2-legged move and a midpoint, 50% pullback of this leg. So probably we're going to find sellers up here. Pulling back, 39, might be a pullback from the rally on 37. so better to wait. Follow through, but it's small and weak. Why is it small and weak? Also, we've got bar 39 here. That's the middle of the day, and a lot of times in the middle of the day, you get a reversal that changes the direction of whatever the market is doing. So it's possible we try to form a small double bottom here. Maybe it's another higher low for the bulls, and maybe we rally back up here. So better to wait and see what the market does. Instead, we trap the bulls buying above 40, and now we're trying to go lower. But we still have a risk of forming a double bottom here with a low of 37, so better to wait. Turning up, but another small bull bar. Why do we have a small bull bar if we're going to form a double bottom? It's because we're probably not going to form a double bottom, and we're probably forming some sort of channel, and we're probably going to go lower. We might pull back, but odds are we're probably going lower. All right, so we pulled back, we tested the high close here and found a bunch of sellers, and now everybody's selling. Maybe it's sell to close, but we do have a potential double bottom with this low here or this low here. So if I were short, I would be quick to get out below either of those lows. Pulling back, but entirely overlapping the prior bar. We've got a tight trading range, and a big tail on this bar. Why do we have a big tail? How come the bar isn't bigger and closing up here? So I don't know. If I'm a bull, I'm not really that interested in buying yet. I need more. So traders sold to close, and now the channel is a little bit more clear. We have 1, 2, 3 inside of 1, 2, 3. So now we have a nested wedge bottom, a possible double bottom with 6. So now the bulls should be able to take over here. If the bulls are strong like they were here, we should definitely find buyers at and below 45. But we don't. Instead, we break to the downside. We are near some support level on the daily chart, so we might bounce. We did initially here for a few points, but because we're breaking out of this completed structure here, I'll draw it. Here, that was the wrong button. What's my trend line button? Okay, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So there's the wedge, and there's the nested wedge. Well, really, it's yeah. So here's the nested wedge, and we're breaking out below that. It's not a very strong breakout yet, but it's strong enough to make me think that we're probably going to go a little bit lower, and we might get to yesterday's low, or the close, or maybe the Globex low down here from the prior day, and we get follow through. So, this is a reset. It's reasonable to sell the close of either of these bars. We're getting a breakout with follow through. We're probably going to go lower. We might go, to me, I'm thinking that we're probably going to have to find out what's below yesterday's low. All right. So always in short, we're getting bear trend resumption. Now, I think it's unlikely that today was going to get bear trend resumption just like we got the prior day. We had a trading range and then bear trend resumption. We're doing the same thing again today, and we've actually done it a few times. We have a gap down, rally, and then bear trend resumption. Big gap. Okay, this day wasn't the same, but here, rally, bear trend resumption. Rally, bear trend resumption. Rally here, and now we're getting bear trend resumption. So this is unlikely. Probably we're going to find buyers somewhere down here, but we might have a bear trend and we might get a new low. So it's reasonable to be short. Because this bar is getting smaller, but the bars are getting smaller and we're forming a parabolic wedge, we'll probably find buyers down here and bounce. But, probably we're going to find sellers for whatever bounce we get. Strong bar, it's a breakout bar, but it's climactic. Therefore, probably buyers down here. Outside up, strong enough bar, it might be buy the close, probably better to buy the pullback. Looking for a second leg up, excuse me. But probably we find sellers before we get too much higher. Like maybe here. This is a point of clarity. It's obviously bullish. We just had a lot of bear strength. And this rally is impressive, but not that impressive. The bulls need to do more to demonstrate that they've got control over the market. And I think if they were stronger, these bars would be bigger and stronger. So probably we're going to find sellers above this bar around the moving average. Almost outside down, probably going lower, but probably needs a second leg up from the rally. Smaller bar, but follow through, so probably going a little bit lower. But again, we still need that second leg up. So here it is, but it's a small signal bar, so probably sellers up here. Probably going lower. We pulled back. Still probably going lower. We might try to double bottom here, but I expect it to fail, so probably sellers up here. An implied two-legged move, so probably sellers. Probably going lower. Climactic bar, probably going lower, but probably needs to pull back. Yeah, probably sellers here, still always in short. So we rallied, but selling off, probably going lower. Hesitating, but still probably short. Same. Probably going a little bit lower. We have a wedge here. It looks like we're breaking out, so we might reset again and go lower. Not all that convincing, so we might bounce here. Same, and then we're getting a breakout. This could be a reset. We're probably going lower. And then a tail on the bar, so we probably need to bounce and pull back a little bit. Not a very good signal bar for a long, so probably sellers above. And then a new low of the day. It's bar 72. I've stopped trading somewhere around here. So all of this is just, practice. But I think we're still going lower, but we could reverse at any point. We're starting to form a channel, a spike and channel. We might get a third leg down, and then I expect a bounce. Instead, we're getting the bounce early. Short covering at the end of the day, so we're probably going a little bit higher. Probably sellers up here because that's too much up. Parabolic wedge at the moving average, probably going to pull back. Instead, we went higher and pulled back there. All right, so that's my review. This is my chart markup. That was good practice. Interesting day. I think it was unlikely that we formed another bear trend resumption day, but we did. I think the market's getting kind of overdone. What do we do tomorrow? Consecutive strong bear bars at a low. So probably we find buyers somewhere below yesterday's low. Maybe we gap up or down, but I expect a rally. It's a pretty low probability to get this many consecutive bear trend resumption days. So I think we have to do something different. So there you go. Thanks for watching. All right, bye.